It's 2023 and we finally give a shit about Toni Storm. AEW finally decided to give Toni Storm an actual sports entertainment character, and guess what? The internet wrestling community, you know, the one that lies about valuing wrestling over sports entertainment, can't stop talking about her. Don't get me wrong, Toni Storm is a talented women's wrestler, but there's talented women's wrestlers all around the world. What's your point? Being a good wrestler doesn't make you special in 2023. AEW has an entire division of talented wrestlers who are the most technically sound people in catering, especially when it comes to their struggling women's division. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 TED Talks. Wrestling will only get you so far in the world of mainstream television, which is the world where AEW will make the most money. Stop me if you've heard this origin story before. Toni Storm was a well-traveled journeywoman who wrestled in Japan. Then she worked the Mae Young Classic. And if that didn't check enough boxes for the IWC, she rebelled against WWE and went to AEW, where she treaded water for a while in an outcast stable where she was miscast. Paige, Toni Storm, and Ruby Soho played WWE outsiders looking to take over AEW. Cute! But the problem with the Outcasts gimmick was that AEW cast the wrong women. Paige, Ruby, and Toni are internet darlings whom fans would always complain were underutilized and done wrong in WWE. They're ex-WWE the way Booker T is ex-NWO. The Outcasts never got any heat as outsiders because they're perfect for the AEW indie aesthetic. If AEW really wanted to get heat with an outsider stable of women, they needed the Bella Twins, they needed Nia Jax, they needed Mandy Rose. Those women would get so much heat from the AEW Super Cyber Bullies, Kill Yourself would be trending on Twitter during their debut. But now that the Outcasts have mercifully come to an end, Toni Storm has landed on her bare feet and she's stuck the landing. Not only by creating an actual character that people can connect with, but by doing what most white boys do when it's time to get over on TV, ripping off The Miz. I'm telling you, there's no fucking with The Miz's influence on modern day wrestlers. We've already seen countless unlikable white boys copy The Miz's whole flow to connect with WWE and AEW audiences. It's high time that a woman start ripping off The Miz too. In 2013, The Miz returned to WWE, reinventing himself as a delusional Hollywood star. He was an A-lister and a leading man in a pro wrestling company. 10 years later, Toni Storm has reinvented herself as a delusional old Hollywood star. She's an A-lister and a leading woman in a pro wrestling company. And it doesn't matter what pro wrestling company you're in, if you rip off The Miz correctly, you will get over. Nobody gave a shit about any of Toni Storm's AEW title reigns because she was presented as a really good wrestler. That was her gimmick. That's just about everybody's gimmick in AEW, and nobody cared. Now, Toni is legitimately entertaining as a hilarious Marilyn Monroe throwback, and tossing her shoe is getting her more over than a small package pile driver ever did. Suddenly, I can't wait for her to regain the AEW Women's World title so she can give an acceptance speech and treat it like her own personal Oscar. There are so many creative things AEW can do with this character that'll be more effective than any wrestling match. This is what all women in AEW are gonna have to learn regardless, because AEW doesn't have time to book women in wrestling matches. If you're a woman in AEW waiting to show the world what you can do in a wrestling ring, chances are you'll be in that same Jacksonville waiting room as the Jags waiting to play in their first ever Super Bowl. Short, backstage segments is all most women in AEW will have to work with, so they'll need to learn from Toni Storm and knock it out the park with next level character work. Dave Meltzer's bullshit 5-star rating system demands fake wrestling to be as real as possible to earn his fake stars. He fetishizes blood and violence and strap matches and dropping your opponent on their head and bullshit pseudo-shoot wrestling. Dave is basically a pro wrestling porn addict who's been watching for too long, so his dopamine levels are all fucked up, so now he only gets aroused by the most extreme type of matches, and the closer you get to spine and neck surgery, the better. No thank you. You're not going to compete with college football and the NBA and playoff baseball by catering to the whims of a 63-year-old man and his fake star ratings. Literally nobody outside the wrestling Twitter bubble is interested in all of that. I like my wrestling to be entertaining before anybody steps foot into a ring to fake fight an opponent. Give me Mike the Miz over Speedball Mike Bailey. Give me John Cena over John Moxley. And give me Toni Storm over Lance Storm. Because this is Tony's best work by a mile, and it ain't got nothing to do with wrestling. Check out this video and subscribe. How far will Toni Storm go with this character? Tell me in the comments!